What's up, guys? Chris here with Gaming Kinda, and I am here to answer the question, is World of Warcraft worth playing right now? I've got my I voted sticker. It's wearing off. I've been wearing it since I voted. And I don't know when all these videos are going live, but if early voting is still a thing, or if the election is still a thing, go vote. Go vote. I don't care who you vote for. Just do it. So, is World of Warcraft worth playing? Yes is the simple answer, right? End of video. World of Warcraft is one of the largest video game experiences that you can have for the money, assuming that you play games on a regular basis. It is a monthly cost. The vast majority of the expansions are now kind of baked in, so you just buy the most recent one, and it covers everything all the way back. And so it's fairly affordable. It's a low game cost with $15 a month. 15 sounds like a lot, but like assuming that you play games more than one day a week, assuming that you play more than 1 hour at a time, there is no end to the content, period. There is no way to clear all of it. There is a streamer that actually has an add-on that uses an add-on called All the Things, who's trying to get all of it. I don't know if he'll ever get there. He's at like 90% going into the next expansion, but like I think he's working through it, but then like the expansion adds all this other stuff. And it's just big. So why now? Well, we're going into an expansion right now. We are going into Shadowlands November 23rd, 24th, depending on where you live in the world. And we are going to have a huge event kind of ringing it in, a one-time event that has gone after November 10th. For anybody that's been here for one of those before, they're a good bit of fun. They're totally unique. They usually give a unique mount or something like that, a unique reward. And then once they're gone, and you either took part or you didn't. With Prepatch this time, we got something unique. So for anybody that maybe played way back or has always wanted to play, but it just looked like too much to take on, during Battle for Azeroth, the expansion that we are exiting, the max level was 120. To get to that max level, outside of using a free boost potion that they include with purchase of the game as a giant apology for what I'm about to tell you, you had to level that character from level 1 all the way up. And there were some ways to like pick different races and pick different classes where you got to start a little further, but ultimately the vast majority of play was starting at level 1, and you had to go through. And to make that shorter, you had to, you could skip some of the expansions and things like that, but it was a lot. It was a grind. And what they did is they actually squished all that down. They revamped the leveling experience. I have a different video talking about that, and I think it might be one of the best leveling experiences in any MMO ever now. So is World of Warcraft worth it in 2021? Is World of Warcraft worth playing right now? Is it worth playing Shadowlands, not knowing what Shadowlands is going to be? Because it's not November 23rd when I'm filming this. The simple answer is yes. If we get nothing good from Shadowlands, not a single redeeming moment, not a single point that you're leveling or anything like that, the stuff that we got in Prepatch, the changes to the new player experience, the changes to the way it functions to play on other characters and to experience the other faction, is a big win for the long-term health of this game. And I don't think everything in Shadowlands is going to be a failure. The leveling experience in Battle for Azeroth was great. The leveling experience in every expansion, it's a ton of fun at first. And people like to go back in hindsight, and when we have a bad expansion, say it was bad from the start, I knew it. No, go back and look at the way the community responded. Go back and look at the community posts from the WoW dev team and look at the thumbs up versus the thumbs down. It started out super duper positive. It was awesome. Was it perfect? No, but we were hyped, and they were going to fix it, and it was going to be amazing, and this was it. And then as the end game content and as the way loot worked and the way that the end game systems like Azerite and corruption and all of that worked, as the way world quests and all of that start to grind on you, it slowly went downhill. And then once it got down there wasn't really any getting it back. We had deemed the expansion a failure. They tried rolling out a half-baked system, and it was too little too late. It was the same in Legion with people's frustration with the legendaries, where they came back later and they tried to make it easier, with Waking Essence, that's what it's called. And it was just too little too late for anybody that was frustrated by that system. Legion on the whole was considered a good expansion. BFA on the whole seems to be relatively rejected as a good expansion, but it doesn't mean the last 2 years hasn't been fun in World of Warcraft, which is one of the reasons that I can feel confident going into a new expansion, whether or not it turns out good, that there's going to be fun things to do. World of Warcraft, for whether you've been playing for a long time, but you've only been playing one part of the game, or you've never played before, it has a ton of communities. There is a gold making community that just plays the game differently. They have speed running of dungeons that are competitive, called lax. They have go get all the recipes and stuff. There is ways to gather. There are ways to farm. There are ways to multi-box. There are so many ways to be a part of that community. There are prospectors and investors and stuff on the auction house that basically run it like a commodity trading board. It's just a different way to play. You have people that speed level alts. You have people that play in PvP at specific level ranges called twinks. You have all of these communities that you can go be a part of that are not tied to the current expansion or any change that the current expansion might roll out. Typically, sometimes they go back and adjust those systems in some way, like they've largely changed how speed druids work as part of the level squish, and that affects one of those communities, although I don't know that they were individually targeting it. You have a Pokemon style pet battling system in here. You have a ton of PvP modes. It's an immense game, and the current expansion is just the newest part of this theme park. And it's a bummer to buy a ticket to a theme park if the newest section is not worth going to, if the newest ride sucks, but it doesn't mean you can't have a great day at that theme park and that it can't be worth your entry fee. So I would say no matter what, it's great, but as we go into Shadowlands, the leveling experience will be good. Torghast Tower looks like it's going to have some fun behind it. We'll see if it's as fun to stick with and grind as something like the Greater Rift system in Diablo or the Deep Dungeon system in Final Fantasy XIV. If it does, awesome. It'll have a long life. If it doesn't, it was fun the first couple times, and to get a laugh out of, I was running with a friend and he just got blown up by some mob or pulled off some big save that we didn't think he could. There will be fun moments, and then that's it. And we'll get Mythic Plus. Mythic Plus is going under a huge number of changes in the way like loot works and things like that, the way your weekly chest works. And it's going to change the tone. And seeing how the whatever affixes work with whatever dungeons, it could be super fun. It could be not, but the first time it will be fun. I enjoyed Island Expeditions at first. So there's a ton of new content here to get through. The Maw could be an interesting in-game zone. It's supposed to be this punishing zone, and we never have open world zones that are truly challenging in the long term. Sometimes they're challenging when you first walk in, but eventually the gear curve outpaces them, and they're introducing some mechanics that, depending on how those actually shake out, could actually keep it relatively challenging long term, and that's incredibly intriguing. It may not work out that way. It may work out just like Argus or any of those other systems, where eventually over time it feels less and less and less scary to be there, but it could not. It could feel scary from day one all the way through the last of the expansion, and just the prospect of that gets me excited. That's what I want from a game. I want a zone that I can go take challenge in. I like aspirational content, even if I'm not going to take part in it. I love that there are things in the game that show that there are players that are better at things than I am, or possibly ever will be. We are getting a covenant system and all of that will be interesting to try, even if the long-term balance of it doesn't seem perfect. So before we immediately go assume each and every system will be a failure in its entirety, what happens if they get 1 or 2 or 3 of these systems right? They have made a huge number of changes to Torghast, Soulbinds, Covenants, the Maw, all based on PTR and beta feedback. So like, we have gotten a ton of changes. It's what delayed the expansion in the first place. And I think that this is really exciting. I think it's a great time to start. And when I would start would be right now. Shadowlands will start at level 50. We will go to level 60. You have time to get to level 50. Playing casually, especially if you played an MMO before, seems like it's going to be in that kind of maybe 16-hour grind, but there are faster ways. You can level as fast as, I think people can get it sub 5 hours now. Wouldn't be shocked if people are getting it sub 4. So there are ways to level alts very, very quickly should you be coming back to the game. If you're coming back to the game and you have a character that's remotely leveled at all, they've been squished down to whatever their respective point in the leveling grind is. So if you left at the end of Legion and you never played BFA, you have a 45, you got 5 levels to go. It's no big deal. Come back, knock it out, take part in the Scourge event on November 10th. Prepatch has been live, so the kinks of it have largely been worked out. There's still some bugs and stuff. We're still getting regular fixes, but I've been leveling through multiple expansions on multiple alts just to test it out, and it's a very enjoyable and smooth, thorough experience. I would say that for the most part, what most impresses me about Shadowlands is how smooth pre-patch has been. For the fact that Shadowlands has been delayed, I think pre-patch gave us an immense number of changes, and you can start on them right now. It really invited new players in right now. And so I'm playing with Brian over on Work to Game, and we're kind of just pushing him through his very first time to try to get to cap. It'll be his first time to ever get to cap and play on World of Warcraft. He touched the game very, very briefly in Wrath of the Lich King, didn't make it to cap at the time. So effectively, all of this is new to him. He ran his first ever dungeon. He did his first ever bombing quest. He's having a blast doing things that are 10 years old in some cases, as far as the way a system works. And it's all new to him. And so it's absolutely doable. He's doing it with native controller support. This is not with WoW Mapper or any of those third-party tools that require you download some external piece of software. It's actually native, and he has a guide up on it over on Ginger Prime if you want to know how to play World of Warcraft with controller. It is simply an exciting time to play World of Warcraft. An expansion is an exciting time to play any game. And in 2020, exciting gameplay is something that we've wanted and in many times has been delayed. And so if you have nothing else going between now, November 10th, November 23rd, come in and take part in this. World of Warcraft looks like it could be an absolute blast. And because it's monthly, as soon as you run out of things you're interested in doing, as soon as you don't find one of the crafting, gathering, secondary profession systems interesting, or any of the systems, there's a huge number of systems in this game you can go get lost in. As soon as you have run out of systems to play, you can just shut it off. You can pause your game time right then, save it in case they ever have anything later that you want to do, or you can just let it expire, then you can come back. If you think it's kind of fun, but not crazy fun, and you're making money at whatever you're doing, you can pay it with WoW Gold. So like, it is absolutely possible to make this the lowest barrier to entry. Go try the free trial. It'll let you get to, I believe, level 20. That'll get you all the way through the new starting zone and 10 levels in. And then should you start paying, make sure you go to your mount trainer, because you would have an epic mount right from the get-go as you start to progress 21 on. Do the free trial. Do it. Come back to the game if you guys are interested in returning. I think that I've said as long-winded of a way as I know how to say, is World of Warcraft worth playing right now? Is World of Warcraft worth playing at the start of Shadowlands? The simple answer is yes. I cannot promise that it'll be a golden perfect 2 years, but I don't feel I have to feel confident that you're going to have the amount of fun and the amount of time played to justify your expense, even if it ends, even if it's not a failure, right? As long as each month you got 15 hours of joy, you paid $1 per hour of joy or less. That's cheaper than any movie. That's cheaper than, I mean, outside of like streaming services, there isn't any way to be entertained cheaper than an MMO. So as far as it being worth your money and worth your time, unless you're playing something else, come join us. Who knows if Cyberpunk is ever going to release? Who knows if Halo Infinite is ever going to release as all these games get delayed? Come play the one that I think really will be launching on their anniversary. I don't think that they're going to delay it again. And come give it a shot. Hopefully you guys like this kind of video here on Gaming Kinda. I typically am going to be doing posts that don't necessarily fall under news or guides, but they are all related to gaming kinda. So thank you guys. My name is Chris. I hope you guys had a fantastic day, and I'll see you next time.